gorillas have always been threatened. For 600 years they've been threatened. The silverback is this incredibly benign king that takes care of everybody. Sitting with them in the forest, and where they allow you into their world, the way they take care of the kids. Once you've been with them, they touch your heart in a way that no other creature on the planet can. A tall, thin, black-haired woman went alone in the 1960s by herself into those cold mountains in the rain and started studying them. First, Dian made them famous throughout the world, and then the conservation groups realized, okay, if we have tourism to these gorillas, we might be able to save them. These are the gorillas that the world got to know. And so they literally became the highest earner of foreign income in Rwanda before the genocide. Everybody had their little groups of gorillas which are habituated to tourism. Gorillas became on the currency, there were songs about gorillas. Mountain gorillas were saved by tourism. Then the war started. This is the same place that the genocide happened. The heartbeat of that genocide came from about 15 kilometers from the park boundary. And this little patch of forest is where everybody hides. If you want to have a war or do something bad, you're going to go into this forest where the gorillas are.
It is one of the most important biospheres in the world today and severely under threat by various militia and military activity. Charcoal is derived from wood, and in the region we're talking about, that wood is coming from a protected forest. People are going into those forests and chopping down trees for the production of charcoal. This has led to the decimation of the forest, which is the natural habitat of this gorilla. Rwanda recently banned the production of charcoal. As a result, the DRC is experiencing a boom period in the production of charcoal, and particularly in the Virunga Park region where these gorillas are found. Charcoal industry is making $30 million a year, so they're not about to stop production. So you're looking at the clash between two industries, one of which involves the potential of ecotourism, and one of which is more immediately delivering charcoal revenue. In a region that's this economically depressed, it's a real conflict. This is a set of rangers who, with very little pay and support and in the face of extreme danger, have been trying to protect their last remaining mountain gorilla populations for the last 20 years. We received word that a number of these gorillas had been killed. It went from these rangers very proudly showing us these groups of gorillas to a realization that the gorillas that they really care for had been killed. Very quickly we came across the first corpse. It's a female gorilla. And the horrifying thing was that she'd been burnt. There's no practical purpose whatsoever for burning the hair off a gorilla. A very tense atmosphere. Some of the rangers had tears in their eyes, but for the most part, the emotion of the day is outrage. It was a very difficult thing to comprehend. That one, they felt that they'd failed in their duty to protect these animals. And that true that this crime had no practical purpose other than malice. So the next morning, about 100 of these local villagers gathered together. We trekked back into the area another 2 hours. And when we found the corpse of the silverback, he was lying on his back with his hand over his heart. And you could see that he had probably died while beating his chest. Attempted to protect his females and been shot for his efforts. In the past, when gorillas have been killed, it's either been by accident, it's been out of fear, it's been for poaching purposes. So seeing this for such little apparent practical purpose was shocking. The local guys carried these animals by hand, brought them to a clearing. They put leaves in the mouth, they put leaves in the wound. When they lashed the silverback to this lattice work of wood, they did it in an incredibly gentle way. This was one movement, one feeling amongst all these men. You had a group of men pick up the silverback, and we're walking through crops and people are getting out the way. It's just this unstoppable primal procession. It really meant something to them, not only in terms of the economics of the tourism industry, but the fact that they empathized with these animals. There was some element of them that related to these gorillas as part of who they were, as part of their identity as people of that region. The Democratic Republic of Congo has a population that has suffered enormously. This is a place where compassion has very little room to breathe. You know, to see these people come together and act with such dignity towards these animals. You're watching a connection between animals and man here. In a place with such trauma, it's profound to see.
This is a world resource. This is not a resource of this little part of Africa. For too long, we've been pretending like nature and humans are separate. We are not separate. We've never been separate, and we're certainly not separated now.